PlatinumGames is without question one of the most celebrated video game studios out there now. They release consistent, high-quality, mainly action games, and they're all super frenetic, super tight in their controls, visually stunning, and they're just one of those companies we hope will succeed and stay in the game for a while. And you can see right here a list of various IPs and titles they've handled, including Mad World, Bayonetta, Wonderful 101, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. We've got Star Fox Zero, Nier Automata, and then one game that many agree is one of the best of last year is Astral Chain. Bayonetta 3 is in development. Babylon's Fall is also in development, which is this project that they're co-developing with Square Enix. So there's just plenty of interesting things that they've got going for them right now. A pretty good catalog and some pretty interesting upcoming projects. And then there's the unfortunately canceled Scalebound, but that's another story. But the bottom line is that this is a company people want to see thrive, and there have recently been some concerns that have cropped up after Platinum CEO released the following statement. Now you can obviously see that this is in Japanese, but various outlets have since translated Platinum's statement about all of this, like Gematsu right here, who posted the following article that reads, PlatinumGames has received a capital investment from Tencent Holdings as a basis for partnership. The partnership has no effect on the independence of PlatinumGames, which will continue operations under its current corporate structure. The company will use the capital from Tencent Holdings to, quote, strengthen our foundation as a business and expand from game development into exploring self-publishing, as well as, quote, a wider global perspective while still creating high-quality games that stay true to our name. In other words, Platinum has decided to get into bed, into business with Tencent, and there are some tangible concerns about what that might mean for the future of the company, given China's growing influence on the games industry, with companies like Tencent and NetEase spreading their tendrils and having more and more influence in the direction that these companies take. Now, Platinum said in their statement that, quote, this partnership has no effect on the independence of our company and we will continue operations under our current corporate structure. But we should get one thing out of the way here. Tencent isn't a charity. They didn't put money into the company expecting nothing from that. They are going to want a return in that investment somehow. Tencent has always been a company that has pursued the kind of, long-term live service style monetization, and this all just begs the question whether Platinum is intending to get into that type of video game as a result of Tencent's influence. But on the other hand, this investment could result in financial stability for Platinum that will allow them to explore new IPs, and they said in their statement, according to Gematsu's translation here, that they are trying to get into self-publishing, and this all might lead to some good products from Platinum. Perhaps they won't sacrifice their integrity. Perhaps this partnership will lead to mutual growth in the form of high-quality releases that sell on its own merits. Perhaps Platinum will manage to stave off any encroaching influence from Tencent. If they want Platinum to lean towards a certain direction, perhaps they'll be able to say, no, we want to make these types of games. Perhaps there's an understanding there. But concerns that this partnership could result in adverse effects are tangible, given that we have seen plenty of other companies sort of capitulate to Chinese interests because they want to make money from the Chinese market. And it says right here that Platinum seeks to pursue a wider global perspective, and that tells me that they want to get into the Chinese market. They want to get a piece of that pie. There's just so much profit to be gained by entering into the Chinese market, and Tencent might be Platinum's gateway into that, and that might give Tencent a certain amount of influence to take Platinum Games in a certain direction, to kind of shift them a little bit in a certain way. And this isn't a concern that's just shared by myself and certain members of the gaming community and Platinum fans, but JP Kellums right here, who is an ex-creative producer at Platinum Games, expressed his own concerns about this whole situation. In one of his previous tweets, he alluded to Platinum Games just not being the same when he left the studio, and then he expressed sort of shock in seeing that the whole Tencent news dropped out of the blue. Some people guessing that this whole notion of Platinum not being the same anymore might have to do with the fact that several key people from Platinum Games have left, like Hashimoto and Minami. And when somebody asked about that, JP Kellum said, "Lots of people have left since I have, but that is natural. I hope the money lets them challenge new ideas like it was when it started. When I left, the thing I feared most was Platinum Games devolving into a one-trick studio." So he hopes that this money will ultimately yield good results, that this is actually going to be a good thing for a company that has financially struggled. It was tweeted by, I think, Hideki Kamiya that Platinum Games was saved by Nier Automata's higher than expected sales. And so, this financial stability could allow them to focus more on the creative side of things rather than have to focus on survival, and that might lead to just better video games. That's the hope, that's what we're keeping our fingers crossed for. But JP Kellum's expressed further concerns with this tweet. "Tencent is going to want their money back, and I'm not convinced that the way they like to make money and the way Platinum likes to make games are wholly compatible. One of the times I hope I am very wrong. Indeed, Tencent likes to invest in endeavors that are recurrently monetizable, and Platinum just isn't known for that type of video game. They're known for those one-off games that you play for a few hours, a dozen or 2 hours, that type of experience that many of us still love. And there's some questions about whether Platinum's types of endeavors will match what Tencent is looking for by investing in the company. And this was something that JP Kellums echoed by tweeting, quote, "Tencent makes money by monetizing continued engagement in a game, especially live service games. How many titles with any sort of service element have you seen Platinum Games successfully ship? This is the actual danger, but it really all depends on the percent of Tencent's stake." And then right here, a user highlighted that they're not necessarily buying stocks from Platinum or anything of the sort. They're making a capital investment. JP Kellums responded with, "They didn't just give money away. They clearly want a return on investment, and that has to be based on staking something, whether it be via loan or even something akin to a publishing deal. Platinum Games has no full ownership of any shipped IP, so it's either shares or something unknown." I do agree with JP Kellums here. Again, Tencent isn't a charity company. When they put money into something, they expect something back, whatever that may be. I don't know what it is exactly they want from Platinum, but if they put money in that studio, it isn't just out of the kindness of their hearts. It's because their intention is to make money somehow through Platinum. JP Kellums then responded to a tweet by Alana Pierce, who expressed similar concerns. She said, "Yeah, I'm just really uncomfortable with Tencent's growing hold over the games industry, and I really love Platinum. They are my current favorite studio." JP Kellums responded with, "I'm with her on this one. I hope the money lets them do cool things, but I'm quite wary." And then when a user expressed the possibility that this really isn't that big of a deal, JP Kellums said, "I can't imagine any sort of meaningful investment in Platinum Games wouldn't result them owning a large percentage of shares. They own very little IP, so what are you buying beyond a stake in the future?" Last but not least, here's a tweet from JP Kellums responding to another Twitter user where he talked about other alternatives to an investment from Tencent that he thought Platinum would go for. He tweeted, "I had heard all of that. My assumption was they would go with Japanese private equity or something like the Vision Fund. Tencent's core competencies and Platinum Games could be complementary, or they could clash because they clearly don't overlap." Now I want to go back to this tweet real quick in which Alana Pierce expressed that she's uncomfortable with Tencent's growing hold over the games industry. It's a sentiment that I share as well. It's kind of disconcerting to see just how much more influence Tencent is having over the games industry as time passes. Their tendrils seeping into just about every major company that we know, especially because we have seen the kind of capitulation that can happen when push comes to shove and these companies have to choose between defending their ideals or defending their market share in China or, the partnership they have with Chinese corporations and the Chinese government. We recently saw how Blizzard handled the whole Blitzchung situation. The way they reacted to that whole mess wasn't like an American company would. It was definitely like how a Chinese company would. They reacted in a way that felt like they were a puppet of China. And Blizzard is one of those companies that also claims independence. They talk about how what they have going with China, it's nothing but a partnership, that they don't actually influence the ins and outs of Blizzard. But I find that hard to believe. Again, on paper, what Blizzard says may be true, but in terms of their behavior and the direction they're shifting in certain fronts and the way they reacted to the Blitzchung situation and various other things, it all suggests that there is that influence there with Tencent's holdings and the stakes that they have with Activision Blizzard and Blizzard's direct partnership with NetEase in the development of Diablo Immortal. All of that play some kind of role in the way the people running Blizzard make decisions. And Blizzard is just one of many examples, and this isn't just the thing that's happening in the games industry. Corporations across all types of mediums are doing the same thing. We saw the NBA capitulate to Chinese interests and sort of shut down an American's criticism against China. An NBA, was it a coach or something, who tweeted something against China? And NBA defended China and reacted in a way that was very much like they were a puppet of China. We could sit here all day and talk about all kinds of examples across all spectrums of American companies. But as far as Platinum goes, again, this is all speculation and concern and me being cautious about how this all plays out. But I do wish Platinum nothing but the best. I hope they don't change in any way as a result of Tencent's capital investment. I hope they stay true to who they are. I hope they keep making kick-ass games. And the hope is that this capital investment will just allow them to do more of what they already love to do and what we love from the studio. Hopefully this will all open up new doors for them and for the customers. And I don't know. I just hope Platinum doesn't lose itself from this new partnership as other companies and studios have. But that's just one man's take on this whole situation. Let me know in the comments below what you think about PlatinumGames receiving this capital investment from Tencent, where you think the future will take both entities in this new partnership. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Yong Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Yong out.